Good afternoon, everyone. I'm your host, Grant Cohn, cover the 49ers for the Santa Rosa Press Democrat and Associated Press and Hot Mic and lots of places. The Niners are playing another huge game this weekend. They're playing in New Orleans against the Saints. You may not know the Saints that well. The Saints are the NFC South champions. They're the number one seed in the NFC playoff picture. They're 3-point favorites against the Niners. They've had 11 days to prepare. They're at home. It's going to be a really interesting game. If you don't know that much about the Saints, I'm going to break down their pass defense, their pass rush, their coverages, where they're strong, where they're weak, their run defense, their running game on offense, the plays they run, and who runs them, the receivers, the backup offensive linemen that the Niners are licking their chops to face, Taysom Hill, Jared Cook, the red zone offense. Where they're strong, where they're weak. I'm going to go through it for you. Take about an hour, got about 30 clips, and then after this, I'm going to be on Periscope answering your questions and making my game prediction. I'm not going to make a prediction here. This is just diagnostic, what the Saints, why they're good, how they're maybe vulnerable. So, if you'll go with me, let's check out the videotape. All right. Cameron Jordan, what I want to talk about first, the Niners have the second best pass rush in the league. They have 46 sacks this season. Well, the Saints have 40. They have the fourth best pass rush in the league, and it starts with 94, Cameron Jordan. He's right here on the left side. Hold on, let me slow that down for you. Over here. Just watch him. He's 30 years old. He's 287 pounds. Watch what he does to this right tackle. Just tosses him aside, hits Matt Ryan, almost strips the ball from him. So that's what the Niners have to deal with. He lines up on both the right and the left sides, and he's going to give Mike McGlinchey issues. To me, he's prime Justin Smith. About the same size, about the same weight, all-pro player, one of the best defensive ends in the league. 287-pound guys shouldn't move like that. Like, Nick Bosa has moves like that, and he's 20 pounds lighter. This guy might be the best defensive player on either team. All-pro player, hell of a player, 30 years old, right in his prime. He had 4 sacks in this game on Thanksgiving, which was impressive. He has like 12 and a half for the season. I want to show you, though, Marcus Davenport as well, because he's really quite good. If I can find him. Let's see. Hold on. I can get him. Just a second. Marcus Davenport, they drafted him in the first round a couple of years ago and traded up for him, which is interesting. They really went all in for this guy, and it's starting to pay off now. Let me show you the sack he had against Kyle Allen. Here we go. Now, he's 92 over here. It's Cameron Jordan. Here's 92 Marcus Davenport, second-year player. You're going to be going up against Brunskill or Joe Staley in this game. All right. So here we go. Going against the left tackle right here. Watch this. Engages him, tosses him to the side, runs right around him, clobbers Kyle Allen. So, yeah, a lot of people are expecting the 49ers to just pummel Drew Brees. But it's possible that the Saints can do the same thing to Jimmy Garoppolo. 2 excellent pass rushes. The Niners are a little bit better, but this could be a game dominated by each defensive line. Now, I want to show you their coverages, what Jimmy Garoppolo can expect from the Saints. So let's go just to the games. You guys can, if you're watching this after the fact, you can scroll right past me searching for games, and I'll edit this stuff out later. But let's do it together. Week 13 against the Falcons. Here we go. First play of the game. What coverage do the Saints use? Here we go. Okay, this is something that they're going to use a lot against the Niners. So first, before the snap, it looks like 2 safeties deep. with probably man-to-man coverage. But then this safety comes down here, picks up the running back. And what you're going to have is it's going to be called cover one, man-to-man with one deep safety and a robber. They call it a robber or a rat defender. Instead of having the second defender up here with the safety, you have the second safety or a linebacker down here to take away the crossing routes. They do this a lot because they trust their cornerbacks, Marshawn Lattimore and Eli Apple. They're both having a good year. So if you notice, everyone's in man-to-man coverage. Him here, man-to-man, 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 man-to-man. This guy's in deep zone. This guy's in an underneath zone. They call him a rat or a robber. He's there to basically rob the ball if it comes to him on a crossing route. Right here. Okay? So, man across the board with one guy underneath, one guy deep. This is the guy who's going to give Jimmy Garoppolo, not he's going to give him issues, but who Garoppolo has to be most cognizant of because Garoppolo doesn't throw deep. He's not challenging this guy. He's going to be challenging this guy. So let's watch what Matt Ryan does from the end zone. He looks right. It's not open. He comes back left, but he sees that this robber right here would intercept the pass. Holds it, takes a sack. That's a coverage sack. Matt Ryan made the right decision. Bad Jimmy might throw this ball. Good Jimmy wouldn't. Good Jimmy would never, ever throw this ball, and Matt Ryan didn't. But he comes back. He wants to throw it here, but he sees this robber about to take it away, intercept it, maybe pick six, takes a sack instead. That's smart. That's experienced, mature quarterback play, the next step for Jimmy Garoppolo where he needs to get to. Take the sack. Don't throw the interception. Don't throw, or take the sack, don't throw the interception. Or even better, throw the ball away. Don't take the sack. That's what I would say about Jimmy Garoppolo. Sometimes, and I said it in my article today about Jimmy Garoppolo, it seems like he's calculating his completions percentage in the pocket. I've always felt that way about Aaron Rodgers. I feel like he has a calculator in his head about what his quarterback rating is, and he plays according to that, not whatever it takes to win. People like that are Phillip Rivers and Brett Favre. So yeah, and you see it from young quarterbacks a lot. I would give that. I would say that critique about Deshaun Watson. Gets sacked a lot. Dude, throw the ball away. Why are you holding on to the ball forever? Anyway, it's a step of a progression for a young quarterback. Week 5. Oh, I want to show you Garoppolo working against a robber. This is why this cover one robber is important. And what's his face? Jimmy Garoppolo needs to be very careful. So let's see. Here he goes. Why is the robber a tough thing for Jimmy Garoppolo? Week 5. End of the first half. I think you probably remember this play and know where I'm going with this. But as soon as I saw that first play from the Saints, I said, ooh, reminds me of this play right here. Okay, end of the first half in LA, 2-minute drill. Okay. So again, cover one robber. You got deep safety here. You got the underneath robber right here. He's man-to-man coverage on him, man-to-man coverage on the back, man-to-man over here, man-to-man over here. But this guy is just roaming, waiting to take away the slant or the shallow cross, and he's reading Garoppolo's eyes. Zone defender, reading the eyes. Garoppolo doesn't see him, throws the pass anyway, almost gets intercepted. This is what Matt Ryan didn't do. This is the mistakes that bad Jimmy makes. We haven't seen this mistake as much from bad Jimmy, although he did stare one down last week against the Ravens. This is what he has to really not do and be cognizant. Remember, there is going to be a robber underneath trying to pick you off. He's not there to spy you. You're not going to run. He's there to read your eyes and take away the quick slant, the shallow cross, the stuff that the Niners run all the time. So this is big. I'm sure Jimmy Garoppolo has practiced against this coverage all week. He should be ready. He knows it's coming. Who are they going to pick on in the Saints secondary? I mentioned they have two excellent corners. One excellent corner in Marshawn Lattimore. The Niners took Solomon Thomas over him. But they have another good corner in Eli Apple, who was a first-round pick. But their nickelback, not so good. I want to show you, he started Week 12 against the Panthers because Marshawn Lattimore was out. And he really tore him apart. I mean, he really got torn apart. Excuse me. He usually plays in the slot. And he's going to play there against the Niners because Marshawn Lattimore will be healthy. 43. This is what Shanahan's going to try to do to P.J. Williams when he's on the field. So expect to see some three wide receiver formations from the Niners because they need to go after this P.J. Williams. He's right here. He's playing outside. Against the Niners, he's going to be playing in the slot. But just watch how he gets all turned around. He doesn't trust his feet or his hips. He's trying to force the wide receiver to the outside, still gets beaten to the inside, and misses a tackle. This is the guy Shanahan's going to think of 10 different ways to attack. And he should. P.J. Williams, 26. It's the weak link in their secondary. The safeties are good. Von Bell, Marcus Williams, both good players. Eli Apple, Marshawn Lattimore, good players. This is the guy. Even their dime back who plays he plays some linebacker for him. Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, better than this guy, P.J. Williams. He's given up a quarterback rating of 107 this year on a defense that's good. That's where the Niners are going. Look for 26. All right, let's talk about the Saints' run defense because that's where it starts really when you're facing the Niners. Can you stop the run? Saints can. The Saints have one of the better run defenses in the league, and I'm going to show you how they do it, what makes it work, what makes them work. Going back to their game from a few days ago against the Falcons. This is first quarter, 8:36, and I'll do it real slow so you can see what's going on. All right, here we go. Okay. 2nd and 6. You got Cameron Jordan out here, their best player, playing what I would call, he's playing a wide 9. He's playing outside the tight end, okay? Here he is, basically the same technique that Eric Armstead would play, outside the tight end. Let's see what he does. It's going to be an outside zone to the right. This is a play the Niners run all the time. Pretend this is Kittle and pretend this is Kyle Juszczyk. Obviously, these guys aren't as good as Kyle Juszczyk and Kittle, but it's the same formation. It's the same play with a little jet sweep thrown in there. The Niners run this. This is what could happen if they run the ball at Cameron Jordan, even if it's Kittle. He just sets the edge so well. Kittle's not going to push Cameron Jordan back. Cameron Jordan has 40 pounds on him. As excellent as George Kittle is, this is a different task. Just effortlessly sets the edge, forces the cutback, and they stop the run. It's hard to get outside of this defense. Here comes the cutback right here. He whiffed. The left guard whiffed. Easy. Let me show you another one. This one is against Carolina, week 12. And again, it's Cameron Jordan. You can't run at Cameron Jordan. And what's interesting is the Niners always like to run their outside zone plays towards Kittle. They want Kittle to be at the point of attack because he's their best blocker. Well, Cameron Jordan is the wide 9 player for the Saints. He's usually going to be on the strong side of the formation, which means it's going to be Kittle and Jordan most of the game. And it'll be interesting to see if the Niners try to run at Kittle or run away. I think they'd probably be better off running away. And I'll show you again. This is fourth quarter, game on the line. So it's a close game between the Saints and the Panthers. So let's get to the fourth quarter. 5:04 left. Here we go. This is going to be a no-gainer for Christian McCaffrey. They really shut down Christian McCaffrey. If you think the Saints can't stop the run, go back and watch this game from 2 weeks ago. Here he is again. Let's slow it down. Outside the tight end, Cameron Jordan. They're going to run outside zone, his direction. This is something the Niners want to do. Well, this is inside zone. Sorry, the double team's inside. Still, Cameron Jordan against a tight end. Oh, now, George Kittle's not going to get thrown down. But you just got to understand, this guy is not just pretty good. He's a great player. He's an all-pro. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the league, and he's not just good against the pass. He's an excellent run defender. The Niners are going to have a tough time running toward the tight end side of the formation. They're probably going to need to run weak side, which is not really what they do best. They can do it too. They certainly can do it. All right, let's check out what the Saints, that's enough of the Saints defense. Let's do the Saints running game, starting with Latavius Murray. When they really are rolling, they give him the ball a lot, and I actually expect he's going to get the ball a lot in this game because Sean Payton is the best offensive coach in the league, And he knows that the Niners defense thrives on stopping the pass. They give up only 130 passing yards per game. Their run defense is much more vulnerable. They can run the ball. I'm going to show you all the different ways they like to do it. Here they are. They have really exotic formations. This is a diamond formation. 1, 2, 3 guys in the backfield. It's something you'd almost see. Mike McCarthy used to run this with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, and Greg Roman runs this every week with Lamar Jackson, except he's in the pistol. Still, what do they do here? You got 89, Josh Hill, going to motion over here. It's going to be basically an inside zone off this way with a little crisscross block over here, and Latavius Murray is going to hit the hole real hard. So what's going to happen, he's going to block on 83, I believe. Let's see. No, hold on. Okay, so you bring 89 in motion. He's going to block the outside linebacker. This wide receiver is going to block the strong safety, and there's going to be a huge, huge hole. This is a play the Saints run a lot from this formation. Crisscross block there. Now one more block here, and now Latavius Murray can just pick the hole. He runs hard. He's fast. He's big. Look at that. This is someone that's probably going to get 10 to 15 carries in this game because the Saints they know they have to control the time of possession, run the ball effectively, all the things the Packers didn't do. So that's Latavius Murray. He's a between-the-tackles runner. Now let's get to Alvin Kamara because he's the real guy the Niners have to stop. This is third quarter. He's their best player. Against the 49ers, he's the most important player they need to stop. You could argue that their wide receiver, Michael Thomas, is their best player, and I'll get to him too. But the reason that Drew Brees is the least sacked quarterback in the league, or among them, is because he has Alvin Kamara. And I'm going to show you what he does as a receiver, but first, let's show you how the Saints use him as a running back. He's not as big as Latavius Murray. They use him more outside the tackles as more of like a scat back. Here you got 6 offensive linemen plus a 2 tight ends. So 6 O linemen, 2 tight ends. This is just inside zone. Pretty much the same concept as the last play. You get a double team here, a double team here. You move these guys, push them all, cave in this side of the line. Wait for the hole, only needs a little bit. Now it opens up, and watch the burst and the elusiveness. This was 2 weeks ago. It's one of the best players in the league. Some people think he's having a down year. He's still averaging 4.7 yards per carry and 7 yards after the catch per reception. He's a hell of a player. This is the reason that the Saints have been so good the last couple of years. Before they drafted him, they were a mediocre team. Now they're really, really good. He's been the biggest difference maker for them. I want to show you him on an outside zone. This would be week 10 against Atlanta. Let's do it this way. Search for Kamara. Alvin. Oh, come on, Alvin. Where you at? They don't make it easy. All right. Week 10. 2019. If you don't have Game Pass, this is it. I highly recommend you getting it. Okay. Let's see. So this one I'm talking week 10, 852. Here. Just outside zone. Meaning outside the tackles. It's another play they run. This is something the Niners run a lot. But again, they're going to run this one away from the tight end. Here's the tight end here. The Niners would normally be running this way. Saints will go the other way, which is tricky. I like it. Defense is geared up to stop it over here. All right, you can slap the ball now. You can definitely snap it now. Snap it, snap it, snap it, snap it. Here we go. Hand off to Kamara. Bounces outside there. And he's just a little bit faster than you. Beautiful block right here. Just a very unspectacular gain of 8. Breaks that tackle. He has really good balance for a scat back. Really strong legs. Breaks a lot of tackles. Keeps his balance well. I really like watching Alvin Kamara play. He's one of the most athletic players in the league. I'm going to show you him now on a lead draw. This was week 13. Lead draw. This might be the best play he runs. If I can find it here. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. This one's fun. Okay. So they're going to motion the tight end into the backfield. This one's tough because the Saints really are a pass-first team, and defenses are geared up to take away Michael Thomas and stop Drew Brees. That little pump fake right there sets up the play. Fullback, tight end, slides over. And you got all these defensive linemen running up the field thinking it's a pass. This guy. He's pass rushing. Runs himself out of the play. Look at this huge hole right there. Now you just get one block here, and Alvin Kamara does the rest. He's so tough to block. This guy misses because Alvin Kamara is an alien. So this is a play the Niners are probably going to see. Potential for big yardage here. And then one more Kamara. This one's tough. Again, week 13. Early in the game. First play. First carry for him. Okay. This is something the Niners do too. I think Kyle Shanahan might have picked it up from Sean Payton. Sean Payton's been doing this for a long, long time. But what you do, you fake the jet sweep and pitch it out here. I like it. It's simple. It's easy. It's a way to get the defense running the wrong direction, moving the wrong direction before you give it to the running back. Fake the jet sweep. Causes a little hesitation or confusion. Pitch it out to Kamara. And then just look at how smooth he is, man. Look at this. Looks like he might not get much here. No, he is. Real easy. Yep. First and goal at the 2-yard line. Alvin Kamara. So, quality running back. The Saints are probably going to have a run first game plan. They'd be crazy not to because they have two backups starting on their offensive line. Patrick Omameh at left tackle and Nick Easton at left guard. Both used to be with the Niners. Both are career backups. And this is why most people think the 49ers are going to win because they're going to overwhelm Drew Brees and these offensive linemen right here. So let me show you a couple of sacks they gave up the last couple of weeks, starting with Omameh. He gave up a sack to rookie Brian Burns, week 12. And it was impressive for Brian Burns because he's a hell of a player. He's just as good as Nick Bosa, in my opinion. All right, here we go. This is who may be playing left tackle against the 49ers. It's not clear who's going to be playing left. It might be their starter, Teron Armstead. He's missed a couple of games. Here's the backup, Patrick Omameh. Good backup, been coached by a lot of good coaches. George Warhop in Tampa Bay, one of the best offensive line coaches in the league. But he's a backup, and he's going against a top 20 pick here in Brian Burns. Just imagine Nick Bosa watching this rep and what Nick Bosa thinks. All right, enough of you, Drew. Hurry up, buddy. Okay, here we go. Omameh. Seems like he's in good position. Feet are a little slow, though. Gets beaten pretty easily. Sacked right here. So Nick Bosa's looking at this and licking his chops, but it's important to note that this is the only sack Omameh's given up this season, and since in the last 3 games, Brees has only gotten sacked twice. During these 3 games, he hasn't had his left tackle for 2 of them, and he hasn't had his left guard for 3 of them. Let me show you his new left guard, Nick Easton. He gave up a sack in week 13 to who? Grady Jarrett, who's a hell of a player, but the Niners have better guys. Here. Season 19. Okay, here we go. Grady Jarrett. Well, there you go. Oops. All right, well, let me just go through the games then. It's week 10. Okay, sorry about that. Week 10. I got it now. Bear with me, guys. Sorry about that. Week 10. There's the game. And we're talking fourth quarter, 6:56. So, this is a game they lost. The Saints gave up 6 sacks in this game, and I went through each one to see what the issue was. A lot of it was blitzes and stunts. So, not guys rushing straight at people, but some deception and teamwork. That's maybe the Niners' best bet to sacking Drew Brees is to work together and rush in concert, not just straight at guys, because the Saints are actually pretty good handling straight rushes, except for the occasional blunder like this one. Okay. Now, I'm talking Easton, 64, left guard, right here. This guy used to be with the Niners. He started a few games for the Niners, I believe, in 2015 when Jim Tom Sula was the head coach. Not the strongest guy, but he's a veteran. He usually holds his own. Not here. Tries to engage Grady Jarrett with one hand. What is that, dude? Look at this. The right arm thing. Dude, I don't know what that's about. Right there. Anyway, Grady Jarrett smacks his arm out of the way and sacks Drew Brees before he can get the ball out. But again, so look, Grady Jarrett, good player. But imagine if this were DeForest Buckner. I mean, Buckner's watching this thinking, oh yeah, I got this guy. On the other hand, it's the only sack Nick Easton has given up this season. It's not because Nick Easton is good, as we see here. There is a reason that the Saints give up so few sacks, and the main reason to me, it's not just the system or the quarterback. It's Alvin Kamara. This team was 7-9 repeatedly for a few years in a row before they got Kamara. Since they've gotten him, they've been one of the best teams in the league, and he has extended Drew Brees' career. Let me get into Alvin Kamara. He is the ultimate checkdown. He's like Darren Sproles was for Drew Brees 10 years ago. If Tom Brady had Alvin Kamara, he'd be having a much better season. I'm sure he would love to switch places with Drew Brees right now and play for the Saints. As long as Alvin Kamara is healthy, Drew Brees will be playing. So let's see. Plays 2019. Let's see what's going on. So I want to show you week 11. The different ways the Niners have to be prepared to cover him in the passing game. They use him a lot of different ways. It's not just screens. 751. Here. So this was 3 weeks ago against Tampa. Here he is in the backfield. Oh, wait. Here we go. Just a quick curl route against cover 3. This is a coverage the Niners use all the time. Deep safety in the middle of the field. These guys are going to drop, be the other deep defenders. And then these 4 are the 4 underneath defenders. Runs a little curl route. So here's the sticks. Here's the line of scrimmage. He runs, 2 yards in front of that. Catches a little pass before the pass rush can get to Breeze. Breaks that tackle. He breaks one tackle every play. He's amazing to watch. He's almost as fun to watch in the open field as Lamar Jackson. Almost. Not as fast as Lamar Jackson, but as elusive. Let's watch Drew Brees, how quickly he gets rid of the ball. He's got beat the right tackle. But he's not going to get there because the ball's out on a 2-yard pass and it becomes a big gain. This is something the Niners have to. You got to tackle Alvin Kamara. You got to tackle him really, really well. Gang tackle him. Okay, week 13. Let's see what he did week 13. All right. This was just a few days ago. Here. This is a 10-yard catch. It's just a screen. 2nd and 10. They like to throw to him a lot on 2nd and long. Say whatever they threw on 1st and 10, incomplete. 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10. They're finding a way to get the ball to Kamara. Here's the play action. Play action to Kamara. Now he leaks out. These three bite. He catches it here, and he's gone. Not gone, but look at him go. Easy. And they'll throw a bunch of screens to him. This is a guy who could catch 10 passes against the Niners. If he catches 4 passes for 20 yards, the Niners should win this game. If he catches 8 passes for 80 yards, the Saints probably will win this game. And there's more ways to get him the ball. I mean, this is the number one thing the Niners have to do is have a plan to cover Alvin Kamara. Because if they cover him, then they can sack Drew Brees. If they can't cover him, then they can't sack Drew Brees more than a couple of times. What they did against Christian McCaffrey when they faced him was impressive. But back then, they had Cohn Alexander. And I believe when they signed Cohn Alexander and looked ahead to this season, they felt, yeah, he's going to be covering Alvin Kamara late in the season when we go man-to-man. Well, that's not going to happen. So the question is, can Fred Warner cover him? Can Dre Greenlaw cover him? And I don't know. Fred Warner's a hell of a player, but this is a different assignment. Kamara's just quicker and faster than most people. All right. 2nd and 7, we're talking 13-24. So imagine Fred Warner covering Kamara on this play. So here's Kamara. And then I got one more thing I want to show you that I to discuss real quick about Kamara. He's going to motion, I believe. Let's see what he does. Right. He's going to motion, or is he? Anyway, it's going to be a little Texas route. Let's see. Where he goes out and in. Out and in. Catches the ball behind him. Let's do it slow motion. This is the kind of route you saw Roger Craig run a bunch in the 80s. But he's got this guy man-to-man. Gets him leaning one direction. He could go left or right. He has no idea. Easy separation. And now, again, this guy averages a lot of yards after the catch. So if he doesn't make this tackle, it's bad for the Bucs. But just watch how difficult of a catch this is. This guy's he's like a receiver. He's not just a running back. Catches it behind his. That's like a Jeff Wilson Jr. catch, if you know what I'm talking about, against the Cardinals. This is the one I want to know. Can Fred Warner cover this? Can Dre Greenlaw cover this? If not, the Niners are going to lose. If they can, Niners should win. It's a tough task for any linebacker. And one thing I want to point out to you guys, sometimes, and I don't have a clip of it, sometimes Kamara will motion out to wide receiver. That's tough. How do you match up? If you put a cornerback on him, that means there's a safety or a linebacker inside on a tight end or a wide receiver, and that's a good matchup for them. If you put a linebacker out here, Kamara can beat him. To me, when Kamara motions out to wide receiver, what the Niners need to do is put Jimmy Ward on him. Move him from free safety out to basically cornerback, match him up with Alvin Kamara, and bring Tart up to free safety. I think that's the best thing that they can do. I think Jimmy Ward actually can cover Alvin Kamara in space. I think that's the only guy in the Niners who can do it. As good as Fred Warner is, I think that's a tough matchup for him. Let's go to Michael Thomas, the real go-to guy in the Saints offense. Kamara touches the ball the most, but Thomas is Brees' favorite target. Let me show you what Michael Thomas can do. He's a lot of fun to watch. Michael Thomas. Now, week 12. Where are you at? Here we go. Okay, Michael Thomas. 226. Here. Who is going to guard Michael Thomas? Who's going to cover Michael Thomas? One of the best receivers in the league. Here he is in motion down here. Going against James Bradbury, man-to-man. Bradbury's probably going to be a Pro Bowl cornerback. One of the best in the league. Shanahan really respects him. Look at that separation. Look at how open he is. 3-4 yards. And then not only that, catches the ball, gets both feet in bounds, gain of 15, easy. So the out route, the deep out route, very, very good route running, separation. Okay, now let's go to week 13. See what he did against Falcons. Here. So I showed you an out-breaking route near the sideline. This is going to be an in-breaking route on 2nd and 9. Play action deep from their own territory, backed up against their end zone. Michael Thomas right here. Going up against Desmond Trufant, man-to-man. Trufant, former first-round pick, one of the best corners in the league, pressing him. So watch how he beats the jam. Quick little jab step to the outside, gets the inside release. Now he's going to break him off to the inside right there and creates that little separation, which is all he needs. Now when the ball's in the air, not only does he's not relying on being open, he goes and gets it, which is what makes him a lot of fun to watch. Look at that. Excellent body control, really athletic. First down. Who's going to guard this guy man-to-man? Can anyone guard him man-to-man, or are the Niners going to go zone the whole game? Let's go back to Week 12 and show you what he can do down the field. He's not the fastest guy, but he can make some deep catches, and I'll show you how. This is late in the game. Here we go. Game on the line. Tie game, 31-31, 37 seconds left. Saints have to get into field goal range. Here he is right here. Not the fastest guy, but what he does is he can do double moves. I don't know if the Saints are going to have enough time to do double moves against the Niners, but remember, the Panthers have the best pass rush in the league. They lead the league in sacks, not the Niners. So what they do here, runs the slant. This is a sluggo. Slant and go. He's not going to run by corners, but he can fool him with the double move because he's such a good route runner. And the ball's in the air. It's underthrown. Comes back, catches it, gets out of bounds, gain of 25, easy. Michael Thomas, one of the best corners in the league. I don't know if the Niners can match up man-to-man. They don't have to worry about his speed, but he's very crafty, a lot like Richard Sherman. Jared Cook. Jared Cook is interesting because the Saints didn't have him last year, and there were teams that found blueprints to stopping the Saints' offense. It really involved double teaming Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara, and it worked to a degree, but it's much harder to do that with Jared Cook on the field. The thing about Jared Cook, he was with the Panthers. He's a hell of a receiver. Excuse me, he was with the Raiders. He's a hell of a receiver. And he's fast. He's probably faster than Michael Thomas, and by putting him in the middle of your formation, you can't cover him with a linebacker. I don't think Fred Warner can cover him either. I think you really have to cover him with a safety because he's so fast, he's so big. It makes it much more difficult to double someone else. If you have to put a safety on Cook, it's harder to put a corner and a safety on Michael Thomas. You see what I'm saying? So it frees up Michael Thomas having a tight end who's so fast who requires a safety to cover him. So 632 here. Here's what what Jared Cook brings to the Saints, and he's really been coming on strong the last few weeks. Here he is at tight end. Here he is, right here. Play action. No, it's not. Straight drop back. Going against Eric Reed, man-to-man. Look at the finesse in the route. That's a really, really nice juke, route, stem in the route. Gets open, looks like a wide receiver, and then does this. Beautiful catch. Looks like Michael Thomas there. Big gain. Big play guy. They don't go to him a lot on possession stuff. That's Kamara and Thomas. Big play guy. You got to guard him with a strong safety, not a linebacker. So it makes it harder to double team Michael Thomas, which is what you have to do. Beautiful catch. This guy, I don't understand why the Raiders let him go, even though they do have good tight ends. This guy's good too. All right. That's Cook. I got a couple of more of him. Week 11. Well, let's stick with this one because we're here. 754. Here. Wait a second. Okay. So this was a offensive pass interference on Cook. But it's kind of a ticky-tack call. He is here. Going against a safety. They say he pushes off there. I don't know. Anyway, he's isolated running down the seam. And look what he does. Look at that catch. He's fast, he's big, and he can make acrobatic catches over the middle. He does drop a few. He does commit some penalties, but he can run after the catch. Something the Niners, they're not going to have Jaquiski Tart, who would normally match up with him man-to-man. They're going to have Marcel Harris this week. Harris is going to have a big task because the Saints are coming after him. They've been going to Cook a lot the last 4 games, and they're going to do it again. I got one more clip I want to show you Cook from Week 11 at Tampa Bay. He's a really interesting player, and he's a good addition to the Saints. You need 3 guys because you can double 2. When Bill Walsh had John Taylor and Jerry Rice, he also had Roger Craig and Brent Jones. You need more than 2 guys. So Jared Cook, week 11, I'm talking 12 nights here. There's a 30-yard gain. Here he's in the slot like a wide receiver. He really is like a huge wide receiver. They have guys who block better than him. Slot right here, slot left. Here we go. Gonna run a slant against a safety. Watch that route against the safety moving the wrong way. That might even be a cornerback. I can't see his number. Hell of a slant. If a wide receiver ran that slant, he'd be proud of it. And now look at the knee lift. Look at the speed he has. And defensive backs don't want to tackle him high. They went way low. He's a load. Niners have to have a plan for him. You got to put Marcel Harris on him probably. I don't think Fred Warner can cover him either. I'd be interested. If Fred Warner can cover Cook and Alvin Kamara, he really should be an all-pro. I think he has that to prove. All right, Taysom Hill. Taysom Hill is the wild card in their offense, and it's someone the Niners need to prepare for, even if he only touches the ball 2 or 3 times. It's part of what makes the Saints so difficult because they make you spend valuable practice time preparing for this guy who only gets a couple of touches a week, but those touches could be touchdowns. So here's what the Niners must prepare for. Let's go week 13. All the different ways the Saints use Taysom Hill. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Here he is at what? Tight end. Whoop. Again, so here he is here. Sometimes he'll be a quarterback and Drew Brees will be a wide receiver. Sometimes he'll be at running back. I'll show you all the different ways they use him. And it's like they invent ways every week. But this time he's at tight end. You call it H-back. This is a play the Niners run. Fake the outside zone with the conga line left. Fake bootleg back to the right. And you have your tight end running this underneath route, a crossing route underneath the defense. This is usually Kittle. This is Garoppolo. That's Breida. Here's Kittle. But really, it's Taysom Hill here. Catches the ball and runs after the catch. He's probably their most athletic player he's one of their most athletic players. He's fast, he's big, not young. He's 30 years old. Only been in the league a couple of years. He was on his Mormon mission. So that's him as a tight end catching a pass. Now let's show you him as a wide receiver running a jet sweep. This is same game. Next touch. A couple plays later in the red zone. They like to use him in the red zone. And I'm going to show you some other red zone plays they do because their red zone plays are the most fun to watch or among the most fun. So here he is right here starting off at tight end again. Now he's going to motion over here. Here's Alvin Kamara playing wide receiver. I talked about that about 10 minutes ago. How are the Niners going to match up? They're going to put Jimmy Ward out there. They're going to put Akella Witherspoon out there. Curious. Now you got Taysom Hill in the slot. This guy's a quarterback and a tight end and a running back and a special teams guy. Goes in motion. Receives that little pass here. Then watch the moves. Watch how effortless this is. It's about 230 pounds. Bigger than most running backs. Quick. I mean, he's not Lamar Jackson, but they use him pretty much the same way. He's like a wildcat quarterback. Touchdown. This guy has a bunch of touchdowns this year. He's their secret weapon. A couple more clips of him. Week 10 against Atlanta. They like using him against Atlanta. Okay. Let's see. Week 10. 14-28. Bingo. Here we go. Okay, so I showed you this exact play with Alvin Kamara, right? I called it the little toss back to the weak side of the formation after you fake the jet sweep. This is a play the Saints run all the time. They just here, instead of having Kamara back there and a wide receiver do the jet sweep, it's Kamara running the jet sweep and Taysom Hill is the running back. And it's just all supposed to overwhelm the defense. Well, who's getting the ball? Why is Taysom Hill at running back? Why is Alvin Kamara at wide receiver? How do we match up with this? Look at what a natural he is running the ball. Breaks that tackle. Lowers his shoulder into contact. This is a quarterback. Hell of a ball carrier. And he's talking mess to the guy. Final one for Taysom Hill. No, I got two more. Week 13, I want to go back to that and show you the one at here. Okay. This is 3rd and 1. Here he's Lamar Jackson. He's basically playing the wildcat quarterback. He's lined up at quarterback, but he's not going to throw the ball. You got two tight ends over here, a wide receiver here, a fullback over here, and Alvin Kamara way over here, just to draw the attention to the detail, draw the attention of the defense away from the play. And let's watch the blocking scheme. Look at how spread out, how many bodies there are on the offensive line, how spread out this defense is. You're going to see this guy pull. He's going to kick out. He's going to lead. He's going to kick out too. Just a power play that Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman would have run with Frank Gore, except instead of handing it to a running back, Hill just becomes the running back. And now they have an extra blocker because the quarterback is the runner. And watch him go. Let's go full speed because it's better that way. Touchdown. This guy actually is among the Saints leaders in touchdowns, even though he doesn't touch the ball that much. When he's in the game, he's probably getting the ball. One more. Week 10 against Atlanta. This one is here. He doesn't only run the ball and catch it. He does this too. They bring him in a lot near the red zone. They want him to be a scoring threat. Watch the throw. First of all, he has a cannon. This is an accurate pass on the sideline and a great catch. But I want to show you one more thing. For a backup quarterback who doesn't do this full-time and may never be a full-time quarterback, watch the discipline and the mechanics. He stares right at the safety and doesn't telegraph the pass. Bad Jimmy will look left right away. Good Jimmy does this too. Bad Jimmy looks left right away. Taysom Hill doesn't. Holds the safety with his eyes. The safety doesn't know where to go. Now he looks right before the safety reads it, goes, but it's too late. So not just a good throw, but a good play. A mature quarterback play from a guy who doesn't play it very much. Beautiful catch by Michael Thomas. You see this guy's great. Now, 3 more clips. This is the red zone stuff that I want to show you. And I got to go to the games for this one, week 12. Yeah. 3rd quarter. Just a few different plays that the Saints run that the Niners need to be ready for because they're very, very creative in the red zone. And this is an offense that most teams steal from. Sean Payton is the most creative. Shanahan's is extremely creative too, but Payton just has been around longer. So 3rd quarter. And Shanahan said it this week. He said he has extreme respect for Sean Payton, and he looks at his offense every week for things to steal or ideas to take, just like every coach does. I'm sure Sean Payton looks at Kyle Shanahan too. Most coaches do. He's extremely creative. All right, here we go. Red zone. What do they do? Full screen. Okay. Okay, so let me break this down before the play happens. It's going to be, they want to get the slant here. Michael Thomas against James Bradbury at the top of your screen. Michael Thomas is the guy with the white shoes, number 13, and Bradbury's right across from him right here. He's going to run a slant, but problem is Trey Boston, the free safety, is in the throwing window. They got to move him. How are they going to move him? Play action, baby. Just a little play fake right here. Makes the safety step up, creates a throwing window for Drew Brees, who's not going to miss that throw. Hits Michael Thomas. This is what I thought the Niners really probably would have been a better choice for Kyle Shanahan on 4th and 1 late in the Ravens game. You only have 1 yard to get. You're a run-first team. You know the defense will sell out to stop the run if you line up under center and do a play fake. Why don't you make the defense defend the run first before you allow them to defend the pass? Because you just might get someone wide open like this. Anyway, that game's over, and I'm sure Kyle Shanahan has thought about whether it was the right call or not. This is what Sean Payton probably would have done. Make the defense sell out, move players out of passing windows with a quick little play fake, get them out of there easy. If this had been a straight drop back, they couldn't have thrown this pass. But because they line up under center and make the defense onto that the run, it's wide open. I'm sure Robert Saleh showed this to his guys this week. Now I want to take you third quarter, 11:24. 2 more clips, guys, and then I'm going to go on Periscope. Thanks for bearing with me. Hope you find this interesting. 11:24. Okay. What we got here, Eric Reed against Jared Cook. Jared Cook is a tough red zone target to match up with. He's 6'5". He's just bigger and he runs routes like a wide receiver. Here, it's called a stick nod. I once asked Jim Harbaugh how come he never called the Y stick or the stick nod or the stick lookie for Vernon Davis when he was having a tough time getting the ball to Vernon. This is the stick nod. It's one of the best routes you can run in the red zone if you have time. If the quarterback has time, it's a double move. This would have been a perfect way to get the ball to Vernon Davis in the red zone back when he was in his prime. You fake the out. The Niners do this with George Kittle a lot. And then the pass is right over Eric Reed's head. I mean, Drew Brees, his passes are just so perfect. Look at this. This is Joe Montana. Look at the placement. Look at the placement. Look at the placement. Right between the numbers. Way down the field. That's Joe Montana right there. Anyway, the stick nod from this, what was this? Let's see. From the 20-yard line, 21-yard line. Got to be prepared for that. Jared Cook. Who's going to cover him? Marcel Harris, Fred Warner, Jimmy Ward. Tough decision. And finally, against Tampa Bay, Week 11. This is the last clip, if you're hanging with me. Week 11. Tampa Bay. Second quarter, 5:19. Wish it was a little easier to navigate through these things, but it's not bad. And it's a tremendous service that the NFL provides, and I appreciate them for providing it. 5:19. Bingo. Okay. This is not what you would call a scientific. There's no science to this play. Peyton can scheme up open people in the red zone. He does very creative stuff, but every once in a while, you just need your players to be great. And if the play that Sean Payton doesn't work, doesn't work, Saints can always do this. Watch 87. Remember, he's 6'5". They didn't have him last year. He's the big addition to their offense this year. Wide, unblocked rusher. Brees has to get rid of the ball. No one's open right now, but he trusts 87. Jared Cook floats it up. Watch this catch. You know, on the radio this morning, I was listening to 680, and they invited Zach Strief on the show. He was the right tackle for the Saints back when Harbaugh was the coach and of the Niners. And he was saying, you know, Niners really have to be cognizant of 87, Jared Cook, because he's coming on. The Saints are making him an integral part of their offense the last month. And the person who was interviewing him was Dante Whitner. He actually talked through Strief at length. And as Strief was trying to make his case for why the Saints aren't pushovers, he actually said whoop-de-doo when Strief made the comment about Jared Cook, which was entertaining radio, but also a little dismissive of a very good receiver. I would not say this is a whoop-de-doo catch. I think this is a legit catch. Hold on. Look at that. Look at that. Anyone who can make that catch is pretty good. That's not a whoop-de-doo. This is something the Niners need to be prepared for. And what what Whitner's point was, and I have a ton of respect for Whitner. I covered Whitner. Very, very smart guy. His point was, if in Vic Fangio's meeting room, if we were discussing how to stop the Saints offense, it would be all about taking away Alvin Kamara and Michael Thomas. I'm not worried about Taysom Hill. I'm not worried about Jared Cook. Fair enough. He's right. The Niners' defensive focus this week is going to be stopping Alvin Kamara, number one. If you stop Alvin Kamara, then you sack Drew Brees. You also have to have a plan for Michael Thomas. But you can't just say whoop-de-doo with Jared Cook. He can beat you. And the Niners have to have a real plan for them. I'm interested to see what they do. Join me on Periscope. I'm heading over there right now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later.